and welcome back to Writing Fundamentals with Inked Ivy. I'm Zoe, your instructor. Today, we're starting a new module. But before we get started, log into Inked Ivy and select Writing Fundamentals. Select Reflective Writing in the upper left, and then move over to the prompt selection box and scroll down to Decisions Define Us. This is the prompt we'll be working on today. Think about a time when you had to make a difficult decision. How did you weigh your options, and what factors influenced your choice? Reflect on the outcome and how it shaped your perspective. We're going to get started by diving into the prompt for today before I introduce the module. Start by deciding which decision you want to write about. There are plenty of dramatizations of tough choices in books and movies, but decisions don't have to be obviously life-changing to be tough, to change the way you think in some way, and to give you insight into yourself as a person. Your decision doesn't have to be on a grand scale to make it interesting. Maybe you had to decide between standing up for a friend and being perceived as cool, and it helped you value true friendship over popularity. Maybe you had to choose between getting a job at a pizza place to earn some money, or volunteering for a research project that would give you an opportunity to pursue a subject you're passionate about, and you learn to prioritize a future goal over an immediate benefit of earning some extra cash. When I was in 9th grade, I joined the cross-country team and realized immediately that I was a very slow runner. I was always sore from tough practices, and I was embarrassed about being at the back of the pack no matter how hard I tried. I had to decide whether to stay on the team, even though I hated it, or quit to try something else. I decided to stick with it, and I learned to persevere through challenges, and that working hard to reach a goal was fulfilling enough that I could actually start to enjoy it. If I'd chosen to quit, I probably would have learned that it's okay to try something and realize it's not for me, and to prioritize spending my time on what I'm already passionate about. There wasn't a right or wrong choice, which is part of what made the decision so hard, and part of the reason that making that decision has affected me into adulthood. I'm still slow, but I'm still a runner, and I still think about the challenge of doing those hot, humid hill repeats when I'm facing a challenge. During your brainstorming, think about a time that you had to make a hard decision that really mattered to you. Set a timer for 5 minutes and pause the video to write. Welcome back from drafting. Now that you have something down, run AI analysis to see your starting point. Today, we'll be focusing on the decision-making process, which is going to be a large part of your essay. Before we dive back into your drafts though, I want to introduce you to our module. Reflective writing is something that you've already practiced in this class with your college essay writing challenge. Reflection is a skill that you'll use when it's time to apply to college because most prompts will ask you to describe some experience and reflect on how it shaped you. Just like in your argumentative essays, you'll be using analysis to make insight, but you'll be presenting a story that you've experienced to analyze, and your insight will be about yourself. Writing about yourself allows a bit more creativity than constructing an academic argument, so we're going to go about structuring your essay differently than in our last module. In our argumentative writing, we focused on your introduction, then body paragraphs, then conclusion, and talked about the necessary elements to include in each piece. But in reflective writing, there's not a clear formula to follow. That freedom can be exciting, but also a little overwhelming, so I'll give you a couple of models for how you can structure your essay. You don't have to choose one for your drafting today, though. There's not a right answer for how to structure your essay, and you don't have to commit to one strategy yet. One option is to move back and forth in time between your current perspective and the experience itself. This strategy is similar to your argumentative essay. You might introduce your dilemma with some context and framing, and establish the main point you will make from talking about it. It will have a more traditional introduction and conclusion, with your story and reflection woven into your body paragraphs, like the anecdotal evidence and analysis that you used in your argument. Another option to structure your essay is to lean into telling the story of your experience, in this case, the difficult decision, like it's the plot of a story. This strategy is similar to a narrative essay. You can drop the reader right into the story and move in chronological order, building suspense as you present your dilemma and eventually make your decision, then reflect on its significance. This strategy will still allow you to reflect throughout your essay as you examine the thoughts and feelings that you experienced at the time, but it will leave most of the broader significance of your decision to later in your essay. Today, we're going to focus on telling the story of your tough decision, which will look more like the narrative essay structure. You'll stick to writing the plot of the time you faced a difficult choice and how you navigated it. In our next class, we'll talk about adding the so what of your essay, which you might put at the beginning of your draft or insert in the middle to change your essay structure. It can feel like breaking a rule to start writing without necessarily writing the start of your essay, but it's actually a great way to get over the hump of not knowing where to begin and to give yourself the freedom to get into drafting and just see where your ideas lead you. It's also a great way to practice revision, which we'll talk about more in future lessons. I hope that comparing this style of drafting to the more ordered way we wrote our argumentative essays helps you learn what drafting method works best for you. As you return to your draft, focus on describing the situation of your tough decision. Try to answer at least one of the following questions to guide your drafting. What situation led to you needing to make a hard choice? What were you feeling? What were your options, and what was your thought process as you considered them? What strategies did you use to make your choice, like a pros and cons list, asking someone for advice, or imagining the possible outcomes? Focus on writing the story of your tough choice. While you're writing, you might want to keep these vocab words up on your screen. It's easy to fall into repeating the word decision and choice over and over, so these options with more specific connotations might help you vary your word choice. Set a timer for 12 minutes and pause the video to write. Welcome back from drafting. Go ahead and run another round of AI analysis. Hopefully you saw some improvement, especially in the decision-making process element. In our next class, we'll work more on structuring your essay by including a shift in your perspective. I'll see you then.